What's up YouTube? Titus here with another Master Duel video, and we are going to be reviewing some Twitch viewers, YouTube commenters, Discord members, replays. Get a little bit of minor coaching, some things that you could have done better, maybe look at how you reorganize your chain links, things like that, and also just help me learn a new deck, help you guys learn a new deck, and just kind of have some fun here. So if you'd like to, you can go ahead and add me on Master Duel. My ID is on here, and then we can go ahead and get some replays done when you follow. So we are going to look at my favorite viewer. Don't tell her that or she'll hurt me. She's been my mod for a long time, and she didn't think she would get into this game, and then she actually ends up really liking this game. So we are going to look at a Traptrix deck, which this can be a really big of a grind game. Once this deck gets online, it really just kind of stops you. And once DPE comes out, and I know I mentioned DPE in the last video, but once DPE comes out, this deck is insane. Like, this deck is like DPE turbo, and then it sets up all its trap cards and then just protects DPE, and it goes ha 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 ha, you can't play the game. Like, it's crazy. It's so crazy what this deck could do when DPE comes out. So starting hand, break off, trap hole spikes, time space, bottomless, knight. Lord Lee. God, I love this card. Card's so good. Lord Lee is very good. And then 4 trap cards, so your opponent is not really playing a lot. So we'll see what happens. Yep, of course, at 4. Pretty easy to see. Your opponent is on Glad Beast, which I already know because I already reviewed this. But they're going to go ahead and activate Proving Ground. And they're going to add the Chorus. This is an old school deck. I think that, like, Glad Beast is kind of outdated. There's some things that it can do, but because they have to like exchange and stuff, it doesn't work super well, but it's okay. They're gonna go ahead and activate Colosseum, place a counter each time the special summon a Glad Beast, and they gain. And then if this card would be destroyed by a card effect, you can discard 1 to prevent it from being destroyed, which is just bad. Laquaris is gonna get met by a Bottomless. That is correct. Bottomless the heck out of Laquaris. Laquaris is so annoying from back in the day. I just have so many nightmares of that card. Of course, that's just old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. Alright, so we draw Floodgate. No Traptrix monsters yet, but we have enough to kind of stop them from playing at the moment. Okay, so they summon... What is this one's name? Atari. When the special summon with the effect of Glad Beast, you can remove a play, blah, 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 blah. Okay, not a very good card, really. Go ahead and Floodgate this. This is correct. You don't want these cards to attack, so Floodgating it to flip it face down is correct. That is what you're supposed to do. You draw another Floodgate. They summon Ape. This here, you Floodgate this. You didn't need to Floodgate this. This card doesn't do anything, really. It really doesn't do anything. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from the deck. It doesn't have to be face up when it does this. It can be done when it's face down. So you didn't need to Floodgate Trap Hole this card, because that just removes a piece of interruption for you. So just kind of like take a time to think and evaluate, is this card threatening me? Is this card going to really like improve the opponent's game state? This card doesn't do very much. You're going to get hit for 700. You have 8,000 life points. You're doing just fine. All right, flip face down. No problem there. Draw a card. Hey, we found Myrmelio. We normal summon Myrmelio. We activate effect Myrmelio. We grab Gravediggers. Probably one of the best ones to grab. So I would have to say here, because it says you can add a normal hole, a normal trap hole. Normal hole. You can add a normal trap hole. You grab Gravediggers, which is usually correct. That's like really, really good. It stops hand traps. It stops monster effects from summoning from the hand and all that stuff. For this deck, another Bottomless would have probably been better. Gravediggers isn't going to do a lot to this deck because their effects to summon from hand aren't necessarily like activated. It's just a thing that happens. It's like, I don't want to call it an inherent summon because it's not technically what it is, but it doesn't like activate like other cards activate. It's like Cyber Dragon, where Cyber Dragon can just summon itself because you control more monsters than they do. So it's, you didn't know, which is okay, but Bottomless would have been better in that instance there. So kind of see if you played a couple turns, look at what your opponent is doing. Are they activating a lot of cards from hand to special summon? We want Gravediggers. Do I want to push on my next turn? We want Gravediggers. Are they summoning a lot of monsters that just beat the crap out of me, like Blue Eyes and stuff like that? We want Bottomless. So we're going to go activate Break-Off Trap Hole, and we're going to Chain Floor. So this is actually a really interesting play here, because you didn't necessarily have to Chain Floor here. But because you do, you can actually do this a certain way. You could have just activated Break-Off Trap Hole, and his cards would have been sent to grave. And then you could have activated Floor. You didn't need to activate Floor, but even though you did activate Floor, because maybe a misclick or something, you can summon it to the zone that Sarah is pointing to. You summon it in defense here, right? Yeah, you summon a defense and away from its pointing to. If you would have summoned it right here underneath this red arrow, because the arrow's pointing down, and in attack mode, Fleur de Lis wouldn't have been sent to the grave. You would have had a 2500 beat stick that goes into 3000, and then you would have been able to summon Mermelio anyway. And then Mermelio pop. So you would have hit here for a lot of damage. You activate to put Adhesion down. Link. Hit for 18. So yeah, you would have hit them for 4800 right there. Activate some Mermelio, which is correct. Mermelio is just really, really good. They're going to activate another cage. They're going to set one. They're going to pass. Okay. We have the advantage engine going. Activate. We go into Rafflesia. God, that animation is gorgeous. That Royal is gorgeous. Very good card. I want to look at this. That's so nice. So nice. Activate some Mermelio again. So here you popped the face-up cage. You should have popped the face-down. The face-down is what's more threatening because you don't know what it is. It could be Judgments, it could be Strikes, it could be Torrential Tribute, it could be Mirror Force, it could be things that they're setting to get it out of their hand. Pop the face-down because this card isn't really threatening you. The face-down is more important. Okay, going to mid-phase. They activate Rejection, which is pretty good because it makes it so your things can't be targeted, right? Yeah, cannot target Glad Beasts with card effects. Good thing Trap Holes don't target, they just activate. So we activate Adhesion here. When your opponent summons a monster, have that attack. You didn't need to do this either because this only has 700 attack. You were kind of clicking yes a lot. Take a minute to think. This card has 700 attack. You have 1800, 2500 defense, 1200 defense. This card isn't threatening anything. It going to 350 literally does nothing. Activate Sarah, doesn't do anything. They activate their, what is this, Gladiator, Beast, Battle, Mechana? I don't know, whatever. It cannot be destroyed by a battle. When this equipped monster is returned from the side of the field to the deck, this card is sent to the graveyard, return this card to the hand. And so it just recurs, no big deal. Activate Trap Hole of Spikes. He activates Judgment. So this right here is where this popping the face down kind of bites you, because popping that face down was a face down Judgment, and then he can't respond to the monster effect. He has to respond to your summon, and so popping the face down means he wouldn't have been able to do this. And so, like, you tried to trade 1-2 cards for this one card that wasn't actually doing anything really anyway. He takes half his life points. Activate Trap Hole of Spikes. It gets destroyed because of Judgment. And then he gets to summon this big boy. Vespasis, or whatever, however weird Sea Serpent guy and make Sea Serpent guy really, really big. So here on the summon, that's when I would have Adhesive Trap Hole to make this guy lose attack. That's really when I will lose the attack there, because it would have gone down and it would have been fine. Yep, so now he beats over Rafflesia, he gets sent back, he summons Bestiari, Bestiari effect, pop the adhesion because he knows what it is. And then also triggers Rejection, which gets to summon another one, right? Yep, summons another one, summons Darius, the equip card adds back, Bestiari pops, this goes back to deck, summons the other one, now it targets that, destroys that, shuffles back and it goes into Geyserus. Geyserus pops 2, pops your back row. Go ahead and activate Time Space, which is the correct move here to get rid of the Geyserus. You only take 1,000 life points, no big deal. Activates to make sure that he has a wall, basically, because it can't be destroyed by battle now. But she's a Traptrix monster, so it doesn't matter. Summon Alumeris. Alumeris detach to summon. Summon Mermelio. Mermelio pop. Banish to set. Summon Sarah. Battle phase attack over, and then Alumeris attack for game. So a couple of misplays there that like really hurt your advantage engine a bit, because you were just really happy about pressing the yes button. Take a second to look back and kind of review the game state. A monster with 700 attack isn't really going to affect your game state. And then it gained, what, 500 attack, so it would have been 1,300. The only thing it would have been able to attack over was your Mermelio. It couldn't attack over anything else. When he summoned the Vesparius or whatever you want to call it, you could have trap hold there, adhesive trap hole to reduce the attack, and then it wouldn't have been able to attack over anything. So he can't really do very much. He could have attacked into Rafflesia, which is fine, I guess. He takes damage and then he could do stuff. He can do the tag out stuff, but he has less materials on board. He still probably would have gotten to Geyserus regardless, but it just maintains your advantage because you also would have been able to, with the Mermelio, pop the Judgment. So always pop those face downs because face downs are scary. Face ups, you know what they do. Face downs are scary. So you could have maintained your engine there and then activated some of the other cards that really hurt his engine because they had to attack. I know Gladiator Beast isn't meta, but this kind of translates into meta effects here. Like, someone in chat mentioned this is basically just the Gladiator Beast deck with a couple extra cards added, which is fine. But these kind of things translate because every little interaction in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is either gaining you advantage or losing your advantage. And card advantage is a big deal. So making sure that you take out your opponent's advantage and activate cards where you need to is really how you win a lot of games. So when they summon the ape and you floodgated, that didn't really matter because the ape doesn't do anything. When it attacks, it would have hit you with 700. The ape doesn't really do anything. It has to be destroyed by battle. It doesn't tag out like the rest of them. So those are just a couple little things, and those kind of things can compound and compound and compound. But that's okay. But I hope you guys learned something new. I learned something where I know a little bit about Traptrix because I have a guy at Locals who plays Traptrix DPE, and the deck is very hard to deal with because if they go first and they set trap cards and activate DPE, summon DPE, then they have all these trap hole cards to just back up their DPE. And the deck can very easily summon 2 cards to get into Verte Anaconda. Verte Anaconda send Fusion Destiny send the stuff to summon DPE. So this deck is actually going to be really, really scary when DPE comes out because it makes it very easy to summon, and then it just like keeps popping itself and a card you control to keep regenerating this constant pop and constant interruptions while having trap cards that basically say, hey, you can't play the game. So you have to draw Feather Duster or Lightning Storm or I win. And you don't. So it's a wicked fun deck. But it has to get going because it sets trap cards. So anyway, thank you guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment below your Master Duel name and a replay that you would like to be reviewed if you feel so inclined, or you just want to show off a cool replay. that's fine with me too. You can join us on Discord. You can DM me on Twitter. You can join us on Twitch and do all that fun stuff. And thank you guys so much, and happy dueling.